Hey everybody, it's Sunday, it's 9 o'clock here in sunny Spain, so that means it's time for our weekly training. And my God, is it sunny Spain. It's been like 44 degrees at points over the last week. It's crazy, absolute crazy weather. I'm going to talk to you about my hacking dramas, why people are getting logged in live. I've had some hacking dramas. Some of you will have seen my post, I can't even remember what day it was now, but I did post about this to let you guys know why a lot of my lives have now disappeared on my Facebook profile. So I was hacked. Absolutely gutted, guys. Oh God, gutted isn't even the word. Hours and hours and hours worth of content was deleted from my profile last week. Now, it's crazy really, because I didn't realise I was hacked right away. My social media manager messaged me and said, Michelle, I can't get into your Facebook. And I was like, well, I haven't changed my password, it's fine, it should be fine. As you're logging in, guys, and I'm talking about hacking dramas, give me a hashtag live if you're live, give me a hashtag replay if you're on replay, and give me a hashtag newbie if you've never logged into one of these lives before with me. So yeah, hacking dramas. So because I didn't really take it seriously when my social media manager said to me, I can't get into your Facebook, a good 5 hours went by where this person, whoever you are, was in my Facebook. And do you know what? When I actually realised and the penny dropped what had happened and my passwords had been changed, I thought, wow, I got off pretty easy. I mean, they didn't do anything really detrimental. They didn't seem to post on my behalf. They didn't seem to send out obscene messages to my Facebook friends. So what a pointless hack. And it wasn't until maybe a day later when I'd started to get a lot of messages saying, Michelle, I can't find your live videos. How do I find your lives from previous? That I thought, that's strange. And I looked down my profile and everything had gone. Now, I had a cry, I had my moment of, you know, feeling sorry for myself and thinking, why? Like, why on earth would somebody hack into my account just to delete all of my work? And then I kind of dusted myself off and thought, right, there's a lot of growth to be learned from this, and there's a lot of things that we can do differently because of this. But the number one thing that hurt me the most was that those trainings were there to help you guys that listen to this every week. And I wanted you to have the ability to go back over them, re-watch them, or maybe catch up if you hadn't seen them live. And that was taken away. And that hurt me the most. So I have now taken precautions and I am recording this live as I'm speaking to you. That will now go on my YouTube channel, which if you haven't got that and you'd like a link, just put in the comments YouTube please, and I'll send you a link to my YouTube. And there's also going to be a page on my website, michellestonhill.com, where Live with Michelle hosts all of my lives going forward, so they can never ever be deleted again. Do you know what the funny thing is? A couple of days ago, after all this drama, I woke up in the morning with a start, because I always flight mode my phone because it goes off so much, but we leave James's on so that if any family members want to get hold of us and it's an emergency, they can. And his phone was going off the wall, and it was about 7 a.m. and I thought, shit, there's a problem, because I could hear it vibrating. And I'd got messages and phone missed calls from my social media manager, my mum, my sister. They couldn't find me on Facebook. My account had completely disappeared. So they said, you've been hacked again. After looking into it, I thought that Facebook had done it because something about my security settings and another website being hacked where I'd used the same password, but actually it wasn't that. Somebody had actually tried for the second time to get into my account again. And because my security settings are now so high, Facebook has just shut down my account to protect me from being hacked again. So they had another bash at it, folks. After all of that, like, somebody really wants to sabotage my social media. But I'm seeing it as a massive compliment and a sign of success that somebody would go to that length. And I'm choosing to ignore it and just take precautions to safeguard you guys from making sure that you can still get your hands on the training that you need so that you can develop and go on to achieve incredible success in your business and in life and wealth in all areas. And tonight, Guys, as you're logging in, give me a hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're watching on replay, and hashtag newbie if you're new. And if you get value from anything I've said tonight, or you get value from these lives on a weekly basis, then please share it out, because the more people that we reach, the more lives that we change, and the easier it is for other people to build their online businesses. Okay, so the topic of tonight's training. Tonight is about improving responsibly. Because we hear all the time, what's really clear is we should be investing in ourselves. We should be developing ourselves. We should be improving all of the time to have more success. We hear that all of the time, but what I don't see a lot of is a warning sign of how to develop responsibly. Because there is a good way and a bad way of self-development. And this might seem crazy as a coach saying to you, be careful of your self-development, but I feel like it's my duty to you guys to give you that warning sign and help you to develop yourself responsibly and in such a way that serves you and serves your business. Because I know that when we hear that message, we should be investing in ourselves, we should be developing, we should be constantly improving. Sometimes it can be hard to know, how do I improve? What do I improve in? What exact steps do I take that's right for me to get the improvement that I'm looking for? So what I've noticed working with thousands of entrepreneurs over the last few years and conversating and collaborating with many, many more is that there can be hazards to self-development. And I want to help you avoid those hazards today by giving you some do's and don'ts when it comes to how you approach your self-development. So let's dive in. I've got 5 points that I want to share with you tonight. Number 1 is don't strive for perfection. Don't strive for perfection. Self-development should be about striving for progress, never perfection. Because perfection doesn't exist, and striving for it hinders our self-esteem, our confidence, our self-belief, and it also paralyzes us sometimes in taking the action that we need to take. So when we're working on improving ourselves, we should be really mindful on the difference between progress and perfection, because there's a massive difference, and we need to be really conscious of that difference when we're embarking on a journey of self-development, because it's very easy to fall into the trap of trying too hard to be perfect. Now, when we think about this, and you'll know if you've fallen into this trap, because you'll hear yourself saying things, whether it's just the voice that's in your mind or saying it out loud, you'll hear yourself saying things like, when I get to that point, I'll take action. Or you might think, when I'm as good as that person at that particular thing, I'll do X, Y, and Z. And those things will all be clues that you're striving for perfection. Maybe you already know you're a perfectionist and you're somebody that has to have everything in your mind perfect before you can put it out there, before you can post on social media, before you can do that live, before you can develop that program, before you can do anything, it has to be perfect in your mind, which you might be using as a form of procrastination right now. Now, when it comes to perfection, and I've fallen into this trap loads. If you're a high achiever, you will probably naturally be a perfectionist too. You'll like things done in a certain way. You'll like to show up representing the very best version of you. And I'm exactly the same when it comes to that. So I've fallen into the trap of perfection over progress. So I totally get it if that's where you're at. What I've learned to overcome this is that it's no less unreasonable to expect perfection from ourselves than it is to expect it from the people around us. And we probably don't do that. You probably don't expect your family, your friends, the people that you love, even your coach and the people that mentor you to be perfect. Yet you probably place that unrealistic expectation on yourself. So this is about becoming our best friend and treating ourselves the way we would treat somebody else, forgiving ourselves for making mistakes, being okay that sometimes we're not okay, and sometimes we're not perfect, and sometimes we don't get it right, and sometimes we don't have all of the answers, but that is okay, because my message for you tonight is you are already perfect. You're perfect right now as you are. You are perfection. And if when I'm saying that to you, you start thinking, no, I'm not, because of the, and you already can hear some objections to that perfection being thrown up, I want you to know that you are perfect because you are enough right now for the stage that you're at in business. You're enough right now. And you'll be enough with progress when you get to the next stage. We're always enough where we are right now, and we'll always be enough when we get to the next level, as long as we're focusing on progress, not perfection. Number two is about deciding what you want to excel in and being okay with being just okay at the rest. Because again, if you're somebody that constantly self-improves, then I honour you and congratulate you for that. I do too. I recognise that I will always be a work in progress, and there will always be parts of me and my business that I can do better, and parts of me where I can be more. I know that, and that's why I'm constantly investing in my self-development. But I also know that it's not possible to be incredible and excel at everything. So I've let go personally of the need to excel in everything, and focused on excelling in just a few areas that mean the most to me and will make the biggest impact to my life. So you're probably, like me, somebody that would love to be able to run marathons, be a size 8 with a six-pack and go to the gym all the time and love it. You would probably love to be as zen as Buddha and deal with every situation and let it just wash over you. Confrontation, everything. You would probably love to be an absolute sex machine for your husband all of the time and have all the sex appeal that he wants you to have all of the time. You would probably love to be the mum who bakes the most amazing cakes for the fairs at school. They look like they've come fresh out of Delia Smith's kitchen. You'd probably love to be that person too. You would probably love to be the person that can have their hair and makeup looking spectacular all of the time because you know exactly how to do it, and you always show up looking your best, and you probably love to be fluent in loads of languages too. And you also want to be a great mom, wife, mother, daughter, best friend, and have a 7-figure business. But realistically, guys, we're never going to achieve excelling in every single area of our life, are we? And it's time to accept that and be okay with that. Because what we're really fucking good at, and I know I'm good at this, is expecting ourselves to excel in every area and measuring ourselves against people who do excel in certain areas where we don't. Take YouTube channels, for example. How many of you ladies, I know I've done this, I've got an idea in my head, a look that I want to achieve. Let's say it's curling my hair in a certain way or getting that perfect messy bun, right? Let's say it's that, and I go on YouTube and I watch a tutorial on how to achieve that look. And I've got my phone next to me and I'm in the mirror and I'm doing my hair exactly the way she showed me. And I get to the end and I look at her and I look at me and I think, what the fuck just happened there? I look nothing like that. Because what we're doing in that moment is we're measuring ourselves against somebody that absolutely excels in that area, and we don't. We're just okay at it. And that should be okay. You know, when you get to the summer fair for school and these super mums that love baking and excel in baking produce these cakes that look fucking delicious, and yours are sunk in the middle, or actually you bought it from Tesco, and you start comparing yourself to that woman that excels in that area, you've just set yourself up to fail straight away. And that's what I'm talking about. So what's much better is to say, right, I am choosing to focus on excelling in X, Y, Z, and that's it. And I am all right with being mediocre and average in all of the others. I'm not saying it's okay to be slapdash or half a job at things, because how we do anything is how we do everything. And we should have high standards for ourselves, but not to the detriment of our self-esteem, and not so ridiculously high that we expect to be an expert in absolutely everything and be the best at absolutely everything. Being our best and being the best are two completely different things. And we need to get really good at recognising between the two, because fuck me, do we punish ourselves. As women, all of these roles that we have, we try to be everything for everyone, and it's just not achievable. So we spend most of our time feeling like shit. And we really don't have to, because when we accept that, okay, I am going to excel in business and as a mum and as maybe one other thing, they're the three things that I'm going to focus on being really fucking great at. And the other stuff, I'm going to be just okay at it. I'm going to do my best, but I'm never going to be the best. And I'm all right with that. That is a much better approach. And it's so much kinder to us as individuals and as women. And it's so much more empowering to know that this is my focus and I'm okay with being average at everything else. And we can also apply that to our business. And this will boost your confidence, your productivity, your ability to get success when we apply it just to our business. When we've applied it to our life, then look at your business and say, right, what do I really want to excel in business? What do I want to be known for? What do I want to do so well that I am the best at it? And focus on it really developing in that area and working on your strengths. And the other stuff, just know that you'll always be okay at it, but you're never going to be the best at it, and that's all right, because you can get by. You know, when I look at my business, what I absolutely love to do is strategy. That's why I'm a strategist. That's why I'm a business strategist. I love to look at women's businesses and goals and go, right, where they have confusion and frustration and no strategy, I love to take their goals and their vision and blueprint it in a strategy that says, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, so that they can take those steps to get to where they want to go. I love that shit. I love it. I buzz off it. And I buzz from seeing their face when they're like, oh, I can do that. I get it. I love that. What I don't love and what I'm not good at is listening to people's problems. So when the strategy's in place and someone upsets them, they have disappointment, they deal with a challenge, and they want to cry, I'm not the best person to cry on you know, to be that shoulder that they cry. And I know that about me. I can support people so far, absolutely. And mindset's a huge part. But I employ somebody to work within my team that is really fucking good at that stuff. And I can say, do you know what? I know just the lady that will have your back right now. Let me hook you up. Because I'm not that person. I don't excel in that area. And I'm all right with that. I'm good at it. I'm okay at it. But I'm not the best at it. I'm the best at strategy. So you can build your business structure and your business plan, working and playing to your strengths and being okay with the rest, delegating the rest, hiring people to do the rest, or even missing out the rest completely and being absolutely okay with it, because we are taught way too much that we should focus on working on our weaknesses. But seriously, guys, really, is that what we should do? Like, who says who? What about working on our strengths to go from awesome to outstanding and the best at something? I was watching a documentary on this. Oh, where have you gone? Oh, something happened with the internet then. I was watching a documentary on this a while ago, and what I found was absolutely incredible. It was about child geniuses, and there was this particular child, and she was an artist. And she was a bloody incredible artist. Her paintings were selling for hundreds of thousands of pounds. She was a very young girl and she was super, super talented. And when they interviewed her parents, they said to them, were you like the pushy parents that made her sit in a room and do art over and over again until she became so good at it? And they were like, no, actually quite the opposite. We were the parents that said to her, do what you love and what you're really good at and keep working on that. And if you don't love maths, English, science, forget all that, settle for being okay and really excel in this one area. Because with that natural ability, you can go from being in the 80% good to the top 1%. Because you're naturally good at it and it's what you love. But when we're told to spend time working on our weaknesses, effectively it just holds us back. Yes, there's things that we've got to work on and improve on, and that's absolutely fine. But this is about choosing to just work on them to a degree where we can get by and knowing what we really, really want to excel in and working that into our business plan. Number 3, go in here for the answers more than you go out there for the answers. Now, what I mean by this is we all have a part of ourself that knows what's right for us, that knows how to get through problems, challenges, how to become better, how to up level. And I'm not talking strategy, because I understand there's some things that if you just don't know the answer, you don't know the answer. And I get that. But when we're faced with certain things, there is a part of us that knows what's right for us. When we're faced with a challenge or a problem and we feel hurt, upset, confused, frustrated, and we start to feel low vibration feelings, there is a part of us that knows how we can overcome that. And there's resources that we have within us that we can access for these problems. But we have to be not so quick to reach out and ask for help on some of these things. We have to know what our system is to unlocking our resources to become independent, inspired from within, and unstoppable from within. You know, when I'm coaching women in my program, it's a 12-month program, and it's a combination of group coaching and one-to-one coaching. I only work with women on a one-to-one basis for a really short space of time. And that's about strategy, because when you know it, and you know it for the rest of your life, and you can keep implementing it. And those strategies are different for different businesses, of course. But that's why I work with women on a short space of time. Emotional support, my breakthrough coach will work with them for a short space of time to help them access the inner resources that they have, and then be able to tap into them over and over again when they reach a challenge or a mind funk. I am not, and never will be, the sort of coach that becomes somebody's crutch, someone they need to get through things over and over again, someone that you go to for all of the answers to your problems. I am not that person for anybody, and I never ever try to be. If you're a coach and you do, this isn't me slamming you, this is what's right for me and in alignment with my beliefs. What I focus on is helping someone to be truly unstoppable on their own, independently, on their own 2 feet, so that when they have finished working with me, they don't need to check or get validation or confidence from somebody else, because they know exactly how to get that from within. Now, my system for accessing my inner resources to get through a challenge or a problem, I'm going to share with you tonight. And you can take inspiration from it. It might not be right for you and a challenge or struggle that you're going through right now, but you might be able to apply some of the things. So the first thing that I'll do is I write down my issue. Whatever problem I'm facing, I'll write it down. Because getting something out of your head and onto paper gives you a new perspective on it and a new space to operate from, almost like a bird's eye view of that problem. It gives you clarity just by writing it down. So I'll write down my problem, my issue, my struggle, or my question. It might not be a problem necessarily. Then I'll say out loud what I'm grateful for. And this is really important. When you're going live, sometimes somebody's going to start an engine and blast their music. That's my neighbour. So if you can hear that, I'm really, really sorry. So the second thing I'll do is write down my problem. I will say out loud after that what I'm grateful for. I am so grateful that my only issue right now is enter third world problem here. Because most of them are third world problems, guys. Come on. We are so blessed. Every single one of you that are logging into this now is really, really blessed. And if you've got a problem, it's probably a third world problem. So just saying that, I'm so grateful that my only problem right now is XYZ, third world problem. Gives me a much more positive perspective at tackling this problem now, because I've just took the emotion out of it a little bit. I've just took its power, if you like, by framing it for exactly what it is. Then I'll write down my ideal solution. What do I actually want? Then I'll say out loud and write down, how can I achieve X, Y, Z? Because when we're faced with things and we start going, oh my God, this is a problem, I can't deal with this. I don't know what to do. I can't do X, Y, Z. I can't see past X, Y, Z. This person's really pissed me off. I can never forgive them. How am I ever going to get... When we start doing that, we just put blocks on our own inspiration. And then what you might do is feel like you need someone to reach out to who's going to give you the answer. But what about getting the answer from in here? When we say, this is what I want, okay, how can I now achieve this? And we've took the emotion out of it, we're in a much stronger position to deal with it. And then I get to work on the solution. But how I get to work on the solution is very different. Number one, I meditate. And meditation means different things to different people. I'm not somebody that sits in the with my legs folded listening to weird music. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I appreciate it works for a lot of you, but for me, I just can't do it. I just cannot do it. That's a limiting belief. Can you hear that? I can't do it. That's what I'm on. I am much better meditating in a different way, taking myself off and doing something that completely shuts down my mind, something that lifts my vibration and doesn't allow me to really think in detail. That might be exercise, it might be a swim, it might be playing with my dogs, anything that keeps my vibe high and takes me away from the problem. And then I come back to it and think, how can I achieve X, Y, Z? And it never fails me. It never ever fails me. The universe just delivers every single time. It might be I suddenly get a phone call from a friend and they share something with me, a situation they might have had or a problem they might be going through that gives me a new perspective on my own problem. It might be a book that just gets recommended to me out of the blue, or something I get tagged in, or a post that lands on my newsfeed, or just it comes. And I know what's right for me, and nobody else knows that. And that's the thing here, no one actually knows what's right for you. They can give you perspective, they can give you insights into how they might deal with it, but you have to know what's right for you, and you have to be confident in your approach. Number 4, don't strive to become someone else through self-development. I see so much of this, and it really, it actually moves me to emotion when I see this, because you guys know me well enough now to know that I genuinely believe with every fibre of my being that everybody in this world is brilliant in their own unique way. And we give over that power when we idolise somebody and decide that we would rather be like them than like us. And we begin maybe copying their work, maybe copy and pasting posts, or wishing that we could walk, talk and act like them, doing our hair in a certain way, conversating in a certain way, showing up in a certain way. It's okay to have role models, absolutely. We should all have role models, people that are an expression of us at our highest possible vibration. Maybe an expression of us 5 years down the line and the person we want to become, somebody that's a little bit further along than us. It's fine to take, parts of someone and think, I love the way they do that, and I can take that and make it my own and use that to better myself. But what's not okay is to compare and think, I want to be that person, just like that person, show up like that person, and end up trying to become that person, because actually you will never be that person, and you don't need to be, because you are uniquely brilliant in your own right, and you are just as special as that person. And this also comes from knowing what's right for us and what's not right for us. So, for example, let's say you've got this idol, this person that has the business you want, has the success that you want, maybe even looks the way you want to look and talks the way you want to talk and has a following you want and all of that stuff. And we might look at that person and take some inspiration from them. But there are still parts of that person and the way they operate that isn't right for you. And it's important to recognise those things too and actively look for them. Not to put that person down, but to see your differences. Because I'll give you an example. Last year I was at a seminar, and it was a seminar for successful people, and on the stage were some supersonic successful women that have achieved incredible things really quickly. And one of the women said, in one part of her slot, she talked about goal setting and how she set her goals. And I took some massive inspiration from it. There was some parts of it that was incredible that I implemented into my own life. In the second half of her slot, she talked about work ethic and the fact that she hadn't had a day off for 2 years. Hadn't had a day off and hadn't took a holiday for 2 years. Now, did that mean because she has the success, money, that I want, and that I agreed with a goal setting training, that I had to take that on as my own too, and think that I shouldn't have a day off for 2 years or shouldn't have a holiday for 2 years. No, absolutely not. But you will come up against this yourself, where you almost then fight with yourself on, wow, should I be like that? Maybe I should, because she's like that and she's successful and I agree with her on X, Y, Z, so I must take on that as my own too. That's us trying to become someone else. And actually, when I sat with that for a moment and thought, is it right for me to not have a day off or not have a holiday for 2 years? No, it's not. I know that I don't work my best without a break. I know that what's important to me as well as business is time and family and money, memories and above money. Like those things are important. So that wouldn't work for me. And actually what I now think is she might be great at X, Y, Z, but she's not mastered structure in a business that means she can take time away from it and it not collapse. And I want to be better than that. I want to master that. So that's not me putting her down, that's me recognising what she absolutely excels in and what I can take inspiration from, but equally what I can take inspiration from of the things that she's not yet mastered and that I want to do better in that area. So not as to become her, but to take inspiration from her, put my own stamp on it, and still be really clear with my own boundaries that I set for myself and who I am as an individual. And that's so, so important. Number 5. Focus on developing one thing at a time. Because, you know, again, when you're starting out in business or when you're trying to get to the next level in business, it's really easy to bite off more than you can chew and set yourself up to fail without even realising you're doing it. When I started out running an online business, there's a lot of different strategies that I could apply, a lot of different programs I could enroll in, a lot of different platforms that I could build my business from. And I can remember thinking, oh my God, I need to be an expert on LinkedIn and master that. I need to be an expert on Instagram and master that. I need to be an expert on Twitter and master that. I need to be an expert on Facebook and master that. And at this point, my head feels like it's going to explode. And there's no wonder, because I didn't need to master all of that. I needed to master one thing at a time, get really, really good at it, feel confident and comfortable with it, so it's effortless, and then move on and master the next thing. And I chose, for example, out of social media platforms to master Facebook. The lead generation on Facebook, selling on social media, growing an audience on Facebook. I chose to master that as a platform and built a 7-figure business doing it. I've been crap on every other area, I'll admit it, but that's all right, because I chose to excel in that. I chose to focus on one thing and be okay with being mediocre in the rest for a while until I choose to move on. I'm in the process of moving on now and really mastering a different platform. So I've hired the best coaches on that platform, the best programs on that platform. And for the next 3 months, it's me and that platform. That's it. That's all I'm focusing on, nothing else. I'm not going to try and do everything all at once. So it's about maybe committing to one program, one coach that's going to teach you one strategy and really nail it without getting shiny penny syndrome and going, oh, but what else could I learn? Because it's about learning, but it's also about applying, taking action, becoming good at it, mastering it before you move on to the next thing. And I've applied that literally for the last 4 years in business, and it has served me more than any other discipline. It's so, so powerful. The other thing is knowing when to have a self-development detox, because sometimes you need to take yourself away a little bit to go in here and to work out what's right for you. I always take a self-development detox when I'm developing a new program. When I'm launching a new program or a new piece of content for a program, maybe updating an existing program that I've got, I shut off from everybody else's work because I don't want to be influenced by anybody else's work. I want this to come from me. So when I'm doing content that somebody is going to invest in, I look at what their problem is, what their solution is that they want in business. My content's the gap, but it's got to come from me. Things that I've done, tried, tested. If I'm reading a book at that time, potentially, unknowingly, I'm going to be geared towards somebody else's style, their work, and it could start influencing my work. So for a period of time when developing content, I'll take a massive step back from all self-development and go, right, it's time to just focus on me, my message, and the way that I want to deliver it in the way that only I can, because there's only one me. And that's what makes my content original, but will also make your content original as well. And that's my 5 steps to improving responsibly and not falling into some of the hazards that you can fall into when developing ourselves. Now, if you've really enjoyed this video and you think that somebody else could get value from it, please share it out, because there's so many messages out there of self-development, invest in you, develop yourself, but there's no warning signs that come with that self-development on how to do that responsibly without damaging our confidence, self-esteem, or causing more frustration and confusion. So please share it out if you find it valuable. If you don't, absolutely. And the second thing I need to share with you is I'm on holiday for the next 2 Sundays. It's my birthday on the 3rd of August, and I'm taking from the 3rd off for about 10-11 days. I'm going to be shutting down completely from everything that is business and just totally enjoying some time in the sun, exploring beautiful Spain. We were going to go away, but I thought, do you know what? I've got this amazing place on my doorstep that I call home, and so many parts of it that I've not seen yet. So I'm going to be having a holiday at home, exploring Spain, having some pool days, chilling with a good book and junky magazines that I wouldn't normally read, but just because I'm on holiday, I'm going to do it. So the next 2 weeks you won't hear from me, as in on a live, but I'll still be present on social media. I can't help myself, so I'll still be posting and adding value where I can. So I'll see you all in 2 weeks, and don't forget, share it out if you got value. I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up, and I'm so sorry what happened with the videos. I've rectified it. No hacker will ever be able to take away your training ever again. I promise. Love you. Mwah.